is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
All right. Welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose? It's totally free of charge. But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel, out in the description box below, very top link takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And finally, just underneath that, there's another link. Takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,600 members in the group. It is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. Well, oh, that ain't it. Now we're talking, baby. There you go. All right, this is the one I want to lead off with. I guess the one that I don't like this at all. I'm an old time fart, as you can tell. I ain't got no hair, right? That's from being married. But anyway, that's another story. If it's retired, it's like it's dead. You know what I mean? There's no bringing it. There's no pump. There's none of that. If it's retired, it's dead. It's no mas. You leave. You know what I mean? Nah. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, you see a number 11 running around out there. Is that was Phil Sent, right? I'm not a big fan of this at all. But anyway, the one nice thing, if you want to say, is that to even think about, right? Like like Casey Gridiron, right? Just throwing a name out there. That's all. He's not going to Michael Strahan. Hey. I can pull number 92 out of retirement. I mean, the one that, is that to have this type of situation happen, okay, is because you got maybe some super spectacular ball players, right? I'm glad, Lauren. I mean, that just adds to me, just adds. Well, it's all ridiculous anyway, but I mean, to see 56 come out of retirement, just nah. But, number one, Ray Flaherty, now possibly Phil Simms, he offered it to him. I think Abdul said it would be an honor. Well, I mean, so that's what he wore in college, right? He's not getting 56. So, now, of course, this is more of a, if we went back, whatever, just a few years ago, he couldn't wear it, because if he's an edge rusher / off-ball linebacker, whatever it is, he can only wear certain numbers. He could wear 56, but he couldn't wear number 11. Malik Neighbors couldn't wear number 1, right? So, I just also don't know, the numbers been for Ray Flaherty, number 1, was retired. First jersey ever retired, I think in any sport, Giants, number 1, right? Ray Flaherty. Now, the thing is, once Malik retires, leaves, whatever, does it go back into retirement again? Or, with Ward Cuff, his number 14 was retired. He got taken out of retirement for Y.H. Tittle. Y.H. Tittle did, was so instrumental to the Giants. 61, 62, and 63. Took us to the championship game. 64, we kind of fell apart. But the Giants also had been trading off, I think Ali Sherman, more to be specific, was trading off parts to the Giants. We were getting a little old too, and Ali wanted to get younger and all of that. But I mean, like, because YA did such a phenomenal job in a short time here. They retired it again with under his, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of interesting to see. I mean, number one, it came out from Malik. After Malik's gone, does it go back into retirement again? Or is it's fair game to anybody because we took it out of retirement. So it'll be interesting to see. Or, you know, I mean, like Malik winds up being, you know, that good as we think he is, if he can stay healthy and all that stuff and everything. You know, maybe they might retire it for Malik and Ray Flaherty. That's the same thing, you know, with Phil Simms. I mean, you know, if Carter just winds up being that good that they retired for Carter and Simms, or after Carter leaves, or Carter retires, if they don't retire for Carter, do they put it back into storage for Phil Simms? You know, and it's retired again. So we'll have to wait and see. You know what I mean? We'll have to wait and see. But I mean, I said, you know, that I don't like it, but it is a good, you know, it can be a good situation to have because you have some really super spectacular players entering your ball club. The only one thing is that also you look at it, the reason why we have these super spectacular high draft picks is because the year before we sucked. So, but we got Mr. Phil Simms. So, I mean, I was listening to, you know, he was talking. I can't remember what show he was on, who he was talking to, exactly what it was or whatever. But, you know, he wasn't as badly ruffled about it as Lawrence Taylor was, you know. So Phil Simms offers number 11 to the Giants rookie Abdul Carter, challenges him to retire it again. Former Giants quarterback has offered up his retired number 11 jersey to Abdul Carter, challenging the rookie to be so successful that the team must retire it a second time. So yeah, I mean, is now is it back into existence once again? I mean, like if Abdul leaves, whatever, 6, 7, 8 years from now it's still back. You know, now anybody can get number 11 again. I don't know. Once again, we'll have to wait and see. I hope not, but I hope it goes back into storage. You know, but in the days following Abdul Carter's draft by the Giants, the rookie reached out to the franchise legend Lawrence Taylor to ask for his blessing to wear number 56. In response, Taylor denied the request, but told Carter to be the player that he is and essentially blaze his own trail in the NFL. Take any number. Don't frickin' matter what it is and make the number great. Make him retire it. And Lawrence, I think, said, it doesn't, I don't care. I don't think he can get 00. But Lawrence said, I don't care if it's 00. Make that a great number. Right? So this week, another Giant legend and former quarterback Phil Simms took the opposite approach as he went ahead and offered up his number 11 to be unretired if the rookie decided to retain the same number he wore while starring for Penn State, so unretiring. But per Art Stapleton, Carter wrote on social media Friday morning that it would be an honor to wear Simms number 11. Simms posted a video on his own social media platform earlier this week that he would take no issue with Carter or the new Giants quarterback Jackson Dart wearing his old number. I had some fun with it, and the fact that he said it would be an honor to wear it, that just him being really nice, Simms told NorthJersey.com. Man, it'll make me relive my days of being an outside linebacker in high school. Truly. I can't wait to see him practice. I was hoping the Giants would get him. He's going to fit in right away with the Giants culture. When asked about the idea of Carter saying yes to wearing number 11, Simms said he'd think it'd be pretty cool to watch the pass rusher in action. And when I tell him, I'd say he has to do well enough to get the jersey retired again. And I expect him to play that well. I think he's that good. While Simms obviously has no issue with his jersey number being unretired, he's aware that there will be those who take exception to it, including his family and longtime Giant fans. I'm anxious to see or hear my children's thought about this. What I've learned in my life, well, even when I played to a degree, they were big fans, is that they have an opinion on everything about me. So I'll hear it from them, and it'll be yes or no. And if you say no, it'll really be like, no way. Yeah, no, I don't know. No way. Nope. Prior to the 2024 season, the Giants were given permission to unretire Ray Flaherty's number 1. So rookie wideout Malik Neighbors could don the same jersey he wore at LSU. That worked well in the end, as Neighbors enjoyed one of the best seasons for a first-year wideout, posting 109 receptions, 1,204 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Wow. In the end, it'll be up to the Giants ownership whether or not Carter will get the chance to wear the number 11. For all of you Giants fans out there, is this something you'd like to see happen? Would you be okay with Carter wearing Phil Simms' number? Or would you prefer, as LT put it, that he blaze his own trail with his own number? That's me. That's what I'm, yeah. I think, I like, as I said, once again, that they're retired for guys for a reason. And just, and once again, I'm an old time fart, but, it would be interesting to see number 11 running around out there, though. So, but maybe he'll do so good they'll have to retire it again. The same thing they did with Ward Cuff. Ward Cuff was number 14. They traded for Y.A. Tittle, and then 1961 to 64, Tittle did so good, was so impressive with the Giants, they retired it for Ward Cuff and Y.A. Tittle. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, next. I seen it. I did a video on this there the last time I was live, and it goes. I share it once again. It just goes to show you, how much, according to I don't have the PFF, their big board from his first season from 2022, his draft board, but there was another board. I think the BBV, I think it was, they had their own, where the guys were ranked at and all of that. And I tell you what, his first season, oh my God. We're talking, according to the BBV, it reaching isn't even close to, I don't know what you could call it. Oh my God. Some of his picks were, holy cow, compared to the board value, right? But also to be fair, okay, he had just came in, new GM. He had scouted some people. He was maybe familiar with Buffalo's board look, maybe kind of, or got people they were scouting and all, but he had no what the Giants needed. The Giants had no money. He didn't know any of his scouts, nothing. He didn't know who his head coach was, nothing. So he's coming in and, and a couple months later, he's got to go out and draft. Drafted a lot of players, right? But if you look at this chart here, I'm going to show you once again, he did some reaching. But compared to that, the 2022 class compared to the 2025 class, now this year, he got all his picks. I'm going to show you the BBV value or whatever, but also show you the Pro Football Focus, their value too. He was taking guys. Let me see. One of them, I think it was Kyle. He got, obviously, pick 105, but I think it was PFF had him at the number 51. I think it was. You got Darius Alexander at number 65, but Darius, according to PFF, was number 49 on their board. So he was getting guys like late, who were, like well overlooked. Marcus and Bo, right? He was, oh my God, So it was really, a lot of it, now he's able to maybe take more or less kind of like the best player available. Now we're starting to, we got a lot of good players at a lot of positions, thanks to the, some free agency, some the drafts from the past and all that and everything. re-signing some of our players, so now he's able to start getting more and more like best player available, right? So that way at pick 105, when you're getting Cam, right, Scatterboo, right, at pick 105, who's like the number 51 on the PFF board. It's like, well, we could use a running back, but also, best player available. Right. So, he's learned a heck of a lot. Or he's gotten so much better. All right, let me take this here. All right. Let me share my there we go. Share the screen. All right, here we go. Now this is really, let me show you what. All right, now this is the big board here, right? Oh, who the heck the big board is? I don't remember. Forgot exactly who it was. Prospects for the draft for BBV hadn't even profiled any of Shane's picks for round 2 onward until I believe Shane's final pick in the draft, Darian Beavers. BBV. So I don't know. Yeah, but the differences from his 2022 to his 2025 are just huge. All right. So now if you look, on my second column in the chart are pre-draft consensus big board rankings of players from the NFL mock draft database. Okay, so that's what this is, the big board from NFL mock draft database. Okay. But if you look here, I mean, he took Kayvon on the big board. Okay. Kayvon was the number 3 guy coming out. We got him at number 5. So that was good. That was a +2. Evan Neal, he was the 4th guy on the big board. So we got in that 2022 draft, according to this big board here, we got the 3rd ranked player and the 4th ranked player, and number 5 and number 7. So when we got Evan Neal, he was a +3. So apparently, according to the big board and all that stuff, we knocked it out of the park with Evan Neal. How wrong you can be. Right? Mama's wrong again, didn't she? But after that, I mean, oh my God, except for Darian Beavers, right? You come down here, right? We took back Darian Beavers with pick 182 on the big board. Somehow he was 108. He was 108, so it's a +74. And it's a shame you wound up getting hurt. Really, really shame he got hurt. But if you look here, right, like Wan'Dale Robinson on the big board, he was number 93. We took him at 43. So the difference is a -50. I mean, that's like, according to the big board, that's a huge reach. Joshua Zudu, he was the number 143 ranked player. We got him at 67. I mean, talking about reaching. Right? Cordell Flott, we got him at 81 in the draft. He was number 176. Daniel Bellinger, we got him at 112. He was number 180. Dane Belton, we got him at pick 114. He was supposed to be the 187th ranked player. We got him at -73. I mean, that's a huge reach. But I mean, look at this one. Marcus McKeithen. We got him at pick 173. He was the 4th, according to the big board. Right, it's all going by. He was the 411. He shouldn't even been drafted. Shouldn't even have been drafted. And DJ Davidson, I think he's like, that's possibly 7. Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't even been drafted either. So we're drafting guys who should be undrafted free agents, really. Right? But Marcus McKeithen, we took him at pick 173. He was, according to the big board, the 411th player. That's a -238 but it gets worse. We'll go over here to 2023, right? Certainly got better. He got better, okay? We got Tay Banks. He was number 20 on the big board. Now, of course, as we say, I mean, the big board's not always right? I mean, Mr. Banks is not number 20, okay? He's not number 24, right? Well, a plus 4. John Michael Schmitz, they had him on the big board at number 36. We got him at 57. So you kind of see that once Shane got, his scouting department, right, and he started getting the analytics going and all and everything like that, he started making better decisions. But of course, this draft class here is really, really rather bad. Banks, so far is not a first round pick. He has flashes, but he's not a first round pick. John Michael Schmitz, I'd really like to see the guy get better. They had him at number 36. But you take a center in the second round, the guy should be, the guy's intelligent, team player, good quality, smart, tough, dependable, all that stuff and everything, but he's got to get a little bit better for a second round pick for a center. But then we got Jalen Hyatt. Somehow they had him at number 38. We got him at 73, which is a plus 35, right? And Eric Gray, we got him at number 172. He was 159 on the big board. That's a plus 13. But then somehow, right, we took Trey Hawkins III, Jordan Riley, and Gio. Now, Gio, of course, isn't even on the team anymore. But these are like the two biggest. Holy cow, right? We got Trey Hawkins at 209. They on the big board, it was 545. That's 336 to the negative right there. Jordan Riley, we took him at 243. He was number 557. These guys shouldn't even been drafted. Right? Well, we could have took him as undrafted free agents, probably, right? And of course, Gio, somehow he was a plus 15, right? He was 239 on their big board, but and he's not even on the team. But this draft class was not very good either. Not very good at all. Gio, Riley, Eric Gray might be gone. This might be highest last season. Yeah, but whatever. We'll talk a little bit more about Mr. Gray and Mr. Hyatt in a little later in our program here. Right? And of course, you got last year, right? Malik, he was number 6 on the big board. We took him at 6. Tyler Nubin, right? This is nothing, right? Andrew Phillip, he was number 79 on the big board. We took him at 70, right? But then Theo Johnson, he was number 90. We got him at 107. That's a plus 17. Tyrone Tracy Jr., he was 153 on the big board. We got him at 166, plus 13. And then Darius Muasau. Now, this one here is a little bit maybe of a reach, whatever. But Darius did when I had to fill it in for the Giants last season, Darius did a decent job. Once again, it was a 6th round pick. What do you expect, right? You're not going to get Harry Carson, okay? But you'll notice this year, right? Even Mr. Mara was talking, right? He said the analytics were really, really very impressive. What Shane and company have got going on there for the Giants, but. You see Carter, he was the number 3 guy on the big board. We got him at number 3, right? Jackson Dart, now he was number 33 on the big board, right? And, that was where the Browns were picking. He may not have made it to the Browns. He may not have made it or may not have made it past. We were picking 34. So that's why we had to jump up to 25. So therefore, the minus 8, right? But if he fell to the Giants who were number 34 and we picked him, he would have been a plus 1. He would have been a green 1. But once again, we had to jump up to take him at pick number 25, right? Because there was a couple teams in front there that possibly had a chance of getting him, possibly taking him. Browns being one of them. Okay. You look here at Darius Alexander, right? The big board, 51. We got him at 65. That's a plus 14. Scataboo. Damn. Got him at 105. He was number 91. Now, that's a plus 14. Marcus and Bo. Got him at 154. He was number 65 somehow. That's a plus 89. I mean, this draft right here, reeks of some quality here, right? Fedoni, Thomas Fedoni. We got him at 219. He was number 194, right? That's a plus 25. And Corey Black. We got him at 246. He was number 215 on the big boards. That's a plus 31. But let's see here. I'm going to go. All right, so let's see. Darius Alexander on their big board, he was 51. But PFF, let's see here. Let's go to the third round here. Darius Alexander, he was number 49 overall by PFF. He was number 49. So he was even on PFF. He was even lower than this big board. Now, Scataboo. All right, now Scataboo. Let's see, go to round 4. What else we had here? There we go. He was somehow, that just goes to show you, right? I mean, this stuff's odd. Pick 104. The Jacksonville Jaguars took Hashel Tootin, a halfback from Virginia Tech. He was number 211 on the PFF board. 211, they took him at 104. Holy cow. We got Scataboo at 105. He was number 51. 51. And they said here that PFF said this pick was elite for the Giants. They had Scataboo was the running back number 3 and the number 51 overall player on the PFF big board, making this a strong value pick for the Giants at the top of the 4th round. He doesn't have elite speed, but he excels in many other areas that translates well to the NFL. Absolutely. Scataboo ranked above the 85th percentile PFF rushing grade in both gap and zone schemes in 2024. And was the only running back besides Ashton Genty to force more than 100 missed tackles on the ground last season. So, I mean, let's see here. Let me go to him and Bo here. Where are we at here? I gotta find him now. 154. Here we go. All right, Marcus and Bo. He's picked according to PFF. Okay, let's see, on the big board here, Marcus and Bo was 65. Well, PFF had him at 84. But whether 65 or 84, we got him at pick 154. Now, PFF also says this here, the pick grade above average. Okay. And Bo was the number 84 ranked player on the PFF big board. He consistently graded in the low 70s in overall PFF grade over the past 3 seasons, with a career best 74 mark in 2024. His biggest strength was in his run blocking, where he earned a 78.7 grade last season. And Bo heads to the Giants, where he will look to push for a significant role right away. You got that right. So, let me go to Alexander. Where are we at here? All right, Alexander. Yeah, we got him. The pick, PFF called the pick good. Okay. This was a good value for the Giants as Alexander entered the draft as the 49th ranked player on the PFF board. Alexander's 90.1 PFF grade in 2024 ranked 3rd among all interior defensive linemen in his class. So he was number 49 on the PFF board. We got him at number 65. Right? And then let me go here. I got to find Fedoni. Thomas Fedoni. We got him the pick. They called it good. Okay. We got him at pick number was at 219. He's the 184th player on the PFF board. Fedoni ranked as the number 10th tight end prospect on the PFF big board, making this a strong value pick at number 219. The Nebraska product is one of the best pass blocking tight ends in the class. He posted a 77.8 grade in that area last season and never recorded a single game pass blocking grade below a 67.4. All right. And then let me see here. Go to the last one here. I gotta find him. Where is Mr. Black? There we go, Corey Black. This pick was, it said it was average, but none of them were below average, not like SF and maybe Dart, because they moved up. Right. Black earned a 74 coverage grade in zone coverage in 2024. He forced 13 incompletions and recorded 5 coverage stops. He was the 199th player on their big board. We got him at number 2, was a 248. So, right, to 246, I'm sorry, 246. I mean, it just really very, very impressive. Shane's really doing a very good job. Now don't forget for next season, our third rounder, we don't have, unless we pick one up somewhere along the line or whatever, but, we did lose a third rounder to the Texans to get Dart. But you also look at it too. If Dart, once again, I say if, is the quarterback of the future, to give up a second round and 2/3 for the quarterback of the future, that's a lot cheaper than what we gave up for Eli, but he's got a long way to go to equal Eli, that's for sure. But you can certainly see, like, what Shane was doing, okay, his first draft, as far as some of those picks were just unbelievable reaches compared to what they are now. He's gotten a lot better. So, I mean, it's, next year is going to be very exciting once again. Right? Hopefully should have if Shane's here and all that, right? Should have another very, very nice draft class to look forward to next year. So, it just goes to show you, he's doing good. He's really, really doing good. All right, but once again, even after this, it's the same thing every year. Same thing. Giants are still at the bottom of the power rankings, even after a good, strong draft. One of the things, I'm going to call this a couple of the things was, we got the twofer, right? It's always been like the offensive line has always been, right? And we just don't seem to have the quarterback. Right? I think our quarterback room is better this year than I think it was maybe last year. The one thing is that I'd have to say with Daniel Jones, okay, is that, nobody, worked longer, spent more time than him. Nobody, he knew the offense obviously better than Russell Wilson's going to know it, all that stuff and everything. But let's see if Russell Wilson can perform a little bit better. But I'm not sure also, if the Giants are, or shall I say, their power rankings also maybe a little tied to maybe Dable. Maybe they're not much in love with Dable. I mean, because we replaced Daniel Jones, we finally got rid of him, and we brought in a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You figure maybe it would be on the up and up, but I think even PFF has the Giants at like number 30 or 29, something like that. So ain't no love for the Giants, the power rankings. So, I mean, a lot of them here. Giants still hovering near the bottom in post-draft NFL power rankings. New talent brings hope, but expectations remain low for the Giants in 2025. So, show me what you got. Show me the money, right? Show me the victories. Show me the dubs, right? And your power. Yeah, I mean, the one thing is that it just, to me, like with these power rankings, it's just kind of like, I can't even speak sometimes. It's just like, like if the Giants are whatever, say the number 25. they win a football game. Well, now they're number 23. No, I mean, they got better. Well, then if the next week they lose, they go back to 25. It's like, they win, they get better. I mean, it's like, once again, it's like, it's a lot of it was like with the mock drafts. It doesn't mean a rat's rear end. These power rankings, mock draft don't mean anything. It means absolutely nothing. But everybody's, once again, nobody's really high on the Giants at all. Nobody. So, despite adding a potential franchise quarterback and bolstering their defense in 2025, the Giants continue to rank near the bottom in post-draft power rankings. National outlets remain skeptical about the team's immediate outlook, though some analysts see glimmers of hope for the future. Here's where the Giants land and what analysts are saying. And as I said, the PFF isn't on this in this article here. But I think they had the Giants like around number 29 or 30. So they're not high on them either. But Fox Sports has the Giants number 28 overall. Fox gave the Giants credit for not panicking under pressure, calling the decision to take linebacker Abdul Carter a no-brainer and praising the front office for not reaching on a quarterback. The Giants moved up 3 spots from their previous ranking but remain in the bottom 5. So the Giants, I guess, were number 31. So they're up to number 28. USA Today, had the Giants at number 28, but they were. USA had the Giants at number 32. USA Today believes this draft will ultimately be judged by how quarterback Jackson Dart performs in the long run. Though he's not expected to start right away, Dart could be the key to unlocking the team's future. But with the NFL's toughest 2025 schedule, that's a huge part of it, too. We have tell you what, our home games are just ungodly. Oh, my goodness. Whew. But with the NFL's toughest 2025 schedule, improvement might not show up in the win column, which is true. It's true. I mean, I tell you what, it is a tough schedule. Boy. The Athletic has the Giants 31st. The Athletic focused on Abdul Carter's potential and the uncertainty surrounding Dart, who will learn behind Wilson and Winston. The pick of running back Tam Scatterboo was also flagged as one that could quickly win over fans. Oh, absolutely. Sports Illustrated has the Giants at number 27. They moved up 1 spot. They were 28th. Sports Illustrated called the Carter pick imaginative? Yeah. Imaginative. I mean, I don't know. I call it like a no-brainer. But anyway, and praised the Giants' shift toward a no-frills, aggressively identity under head coach Brian Daboll, but it also stressed that the team needs to turn that energy into tangible results, which is true. Sharp Football Analysis has the Giants at number 28. Sharp Football also placed the Giants at 28th, pointing out that while the team drafted well on paper, quarterback uncertainty and a brutal schedule still make them a long shot to climb the standings this season. Bleacher Report has the Giants at number 30. Bleacher Report highlighted the pressure on both Daboll and general manager Joe Shane, calling theirs the hottest seat of any regime in the league. While Russell Wilson is the starter for now, all eyes are on Dart, who was aggressively targeted in the first round. Analyst Gary Davenport wrote, New York should be respectable this year, and Dart gives it hope for the future. We'll have to wait and see if those two things are enough for Daboll and Shane to return in 2026. Well, the thing is, kind of like just like how, it's they're the guys that they're I don't think they're really connected anymore. They're not like holding hands, singing Kumbaya. I mean, Shane's here, Daboll's over there. When it's over with, after the season's over, say we win 5 games. Ooh, not going to be good. Mr. Maras has sat back and as my general manager, supplied them with enough quality to win more than 5 games or whatever. Should we have won more games? The answer is yes. Well, maybe Shane stays and Daboll goes. the answer is like, well, Dable, I mean, he did really well the first year. He's gone downhill ever since. 2025, we did bad. And you know what? Shane really is not supplying him with good players. So they both go. I mean, once again, I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid because I've been drinking it so long. I died 412 times over, right? But I mean, this looks like a really good defense. I mean, Shane has really put a good defense out there. It's up to Bowen, to get the best out of him, right? Now, we brought in we got a quarterback of the future. Does that give them any extra time? Does that give Shane, like maybe Dable, an extra year? Especially if Dart doesn't come in till like maybe the end of the season, or if at all. I mean, if what happens with these Sports Illustrated and Fox Sports, what they're saying is, the Giants aren't going to maybe win many games. What happens, week 13, week 14? We're out of the playoffs. The fans, we want Dart. We want, I mean, does he come on the field, right? If he makes it on the field and plays a couple of games, okay, that's great. But, Mara's got to look back and say, well, we might have our quarterback of the future. He only played 3 games last year. He needs a lot more playing time than that. Shane and Dable went out of the way. They think this is the guy. Got to give him one more year. And then we'll see. So, does he give him an extra year or not? I'd be interested to see. And then finally here, NFL.com ranks the Giants number 30 overall. NFL.com saw promise in the draft class, particularly in Carter and mid-round picks like Cam Scatterboo and Marcus and Bo. The team's future hinges on whether Dart can evolve into a quality NFL quarterback, but the outlet wondered aloud if the Giants would eventually regret not waiting for the 2026 quarterback class. Still, there's an undercurrent of excitement about what this young group might become. Why? One thing's going to be interesting. I mean, according to right here, I mean, I have to wait and see. Really gonna have to wait and see. If the Giants are like number 30, we got a tough schedule, which means say we win 3 or 4 games. Well, what happens if we're picking 3rd or 4th next year? Well, we'll be in range for a quarterback, won't we? Right? I mean, Wilson's gone. We got Winston. Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan won't be around next year. I mean, he's going to be on the practice squad. Somebody's going to pluck him off. So Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan's not making it. Right? So next season rolls around. Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan's gone. Russell Wilson's gone. We got Jameson Winston. Right? Cool. I like that. And we got Jackson. Right? Action Jackson. Right? If we're picking 3rd or 4th or something like that, there's a real good quarterback there. Why not? Pick a quarterback. We got Winston. We got Dart. We got somebody else. And then, then you can have Dart and Winston, battle it out for the first game, for who's going to play. If you got your starting quarterback, if you draft your quarterback, say, next season, I'm just saying here, right? If Dart's expendable, maybe you trade him. You're not going to get a first-round pick for him, but maybe you get maybe a 3rd-round pick for him, maybe 4th-round pick for him, something like that. You get something in return. You'll have to wait and see, right? But I mean, the one thing is that you kind of wonder, you kind of wonder, if the Giants should have waited for next season to get their quarterback. You always kind of wonder that. The thing is that you don't know if they have a bad season this year, right? Well, Dable and whatever, and Shane, will they be around next season to get that quarterback? And you're always wondering, too, right? Because their seats are hot. They're on a hot seat. Did they do what's best for the Giants now and going forward? or do what's best for the Giants and Shane and Dable right now. So, right? Because I mean, is there a little, did whatever, I'm saying, oh my, we got to take a quarterback, So it can be interesting to say, very, very interesting to say. But once again, it's going to be another interesting season with the Giants. Right? There's always some story going on. Right? As the Giants turn, well, this year it's going to be, what's going to, because everybody's going to see Dart get in the game. So we'll have to wait and see. But speaking of Dart, Shane was talking. Shane did say that Dart has a lot to learn. Right? He does have a lot to learn. So he's going to want to do a lot of sitting. He's going to do a lot of sitting. Where are we at here? Is that it? Oop, there we go. Okay. Let me pop this out here. So Giants GM Joe Shane gives a sneak peek at Jackson Dart's role as a rookie. All right. And basically, it's stand on the sideline and hold the clipboard. Right. He's a lot to learn. Giants traded up for Dart last week. Yeah, we know that. All right, here we go. The Giants may have traded up for their hopeful future franchise quarterback. Hopeful. But don't expect him to be stepping on the field anytime soon. The G-men took Ole Miss's own Jackson Dart with the 25th selection in the draft, letting him join a crowded room that already features newcomers in Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Winston was the first to sign with the Giants this offseason, inking a 2-year deal, with Wilson joining roughly a week later on a 1-year pact. Wilson figures to be the front runner to start week 1. That's how it'll be once we get started here in the spring, head coach Brian Daboll said via Pro Football Talk. Thus, with 2 vets already in the room, it looks like Dart's rookie season will be a de facto redshirt campaign. Jackson's going to come in. He's got to learn the offense. There's a lot to learn. These NFL offenses are hard to grasp and pick up and then be able to go out and execute. So the ability for him to learn and sit behind 2 consummate pros, yes, they are. That they are. Right? Will be beneficial for him, Giants General Manager Joe Shane said. Let's see here. This past season, Dart averaged 329 yards passing per game, the 3rd best in the NCAA. In total, he passed for 4,279 yards, 29 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions, leading the Rebels to a 10-3 record and 4th place finish in the SEC. He also proved to be a legitimate running threat. He had 495 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. At 21, he will be the youngest quarterback in the NFL in the 2020 phase. He's only 21 years old. Wow. So think of that, too. Okay. At 21, he will be the youngest quarterback in the NFL this season. So, during passing drills at the NFL Combine, Dart went 18 out of 23 and would have had even more completions if not for some drops by his wide receivers. He showcased arm power and precision on each variety of pass, proving he could make every throw in the NFL. Oh, yeah, this one too? Yep, here we go. All right. So Giants issue huge final decision on rookie quarterback Jackson Dart. Giants made a splash in the first round with Abdul Carter. Then they traded up to get Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart. Carter will be an immediate starter and has a good chance at winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah. But Dart is seen more as a project. Head coach Brian Daboll made it clear earlier, saying Russell Wilson will be our starter and that he would reassess things after training camp. General Manager Joe Shane agrees, but believes Wilson will stay quarterback 1 deeper into the fall, which puts Dart on the sideline with fellow quarterbacks Jameis Winston and Tommy DeVito. Well, they're not bringing 4 quarterbacks on the 53, I can tell you that much. Somebody's got to go in the practice squad. And one of these guys goes in the practice squad, somebody's going to pick him up. So It's probably going to be Tommy DeVito, and he's probably not going to last very long in the practice squad. Let's see. An appearance on Sirius XM NFL radio, Shane compared his current quarterback situation to one at Buffalo when he and Dable were there with the Bills. At that time, remember him, Nathan Peterman? Oh, my God. Got the starting job over rookie Josh Allen, and we've seen how that panned out. However, Shane says the environment now is different in New York. That plan didn't go as well, but we didn't have a Russell Wilson or Jameson Winston in that room, Shane said. So again, Jackson's going to come in. He's got to learn the offense. There's a lot to learn. These NFL offenses are hard to grasp and pick up and then be able to go out and execute. So the ability for him to learn and sit behind two pros would be very beneficial for him. It's unclear whether Dart will slide in the depth chart behind Wilson, but Shane emphasized that he will need to be ready if his number's called and he has to go out and execute. The bold push to get him in round one leads us to believe the Giants are willing to hand Dart the ball sooner rather than later in 2025, particularly if things get ugly for New York. Now it's up to him to learn and be ready for when that moment comes. The one thing is also, too, is, obviously a lot of it has got to do with, if he's like, number 3, how often is he going to be throwing to Wan'Dale Robinson, Theo Johnson, Darius Slayton, Malik Neighbors? How often is he going to be throwing to one of those guys? Yeah, so he's not going to have a lot of throwing time with those guys. So it's going to be a challenge for him. Certainly going to be a challenge for him. But I mean, the one nice thing is that if things start getting ugly for the Giants, which hopefully they don't, right? Because we're sick and tired of ugly football. But things get ugly for the Giants. That's one thing that's very, very exciting. It was the same thing like with Eli Manning. Draft that rookie quarterback to get him out there to see what he can do. It was kind of the exciting thing about Phil Simms when we drafted him in 79. I had no idea. I was pissed off when he drafted Joe Montana because I like Notre Dame. Right? So I'm like, Phil, who the is Phil Simms? Yeah, because you go back to 79. I mean, it's nothing what it is today. And I'm like, Morehead State, what is that? Is that even a college? What is that? I had no idea. No idea. They took him, but it was finally when they got Phil Simms on the field, it was, maybe this guy can turn things around for us. Unfortunately, he did well, but he also kept getting injured. So, but then of course, then you get, I said, like with Eli Manning, right? It was a little perplexing with Eli when we started putting Eli on after the 9th game, and we got him in game 10, because like we were 5-4, and we still had a shot at making the playoffs. And it's like, so basically, we're just tanking the whole season to put Eli Manning. Yeah, really? Yeah, that's what we did. So we wound up losing. We went from 5-4. We lost 6 straight games. Then we were 5-10. We finally won our final game of the season against the Cowboys. Really exciting game. But like I said, if things start going bad, it'd be very exciting to see Dart in there and see what he can do. Now, we have 13 undrafted free agents. Who will make the team? Now, there's one guy in particular, this guy here in the thumbnail right here, who supposedly is pretty high. I mean, quite possibly should have even been drafted. But, the Giants scooped him up. The Giants wound up bringing in quite a few wide receivers as well, too. But, we didn't draft any wide receivers. But, so the Giants, any of these undrafted free agents make the team. Let's see. So here we got this one right here, right? This one. The Giants signed an undrafted free agent that the rest of the NFL made a mistake not selecting in the 2025 NFL Draft. Giants added 7 players in the draft, with the class being headlined, obviously, by Carter and Dart. Since the 7th round of the draft, the Giants have added multiple intriguing undrafted players to finalize their rookie class. One in particular, many believed, was good enough to hear his name called in the draft. From South Carolina. Giants signed South Carolina cornerback O'Donnell Fortune after he went undrafted in the 2025 NFL Draft. So I like this. We're adding to the secondary. Now, once again, it's it's like bringing in an offensive lineman, right? Yeah, if you can ever pick up an offense like a diamond in the rough, undrafted, and he makes the team, it's like fantastic. If you can have somebody in the secondary, especially a cornerback, so they make some money, right? Or like a wide receiver, right? Victor Cruz, right? They make some money, right? So if you get one of those diamonds in the rough, one of those positions, man, that's huge, absolutely huge. But O'Donnell Fortune began his college career at South Carolina in 2020. His first real year of production came in 2022, with him appearing in 9 games, making 2 starts, and recording 2 interceptions, one of which he returned 100 yards for a touchdown against Notre Dame. In 2023, he saw his playing time increase significantly, with him starting 10 of 11 games he appeared in, and he finished his career with 13 starts in 2024. He finished his career with 7 interceptions, all recorded over the past 3 years. He finished the best year of his collegiate career with 3 interceptions and 6 pass deflections. His ball skills improved each year as his role at South Carolina increased. He is aggressive in his pursuit of disrupting a pass and hauling in interceptions. He has had solid size for a cornerback at 6'1", but he's a little on the slender side of 189. So, it's 190. At least he's bigger than Cordell Flott. I mean, Flott is like a beanpole. And he is a modest athlete at best. So perhaps if he was a better athlete, I'm sure he probably would have been drafted. To succeed at the next level, I think he needs to play in a heavy zone scheme, which would allow him to keep his eyes on the quarterback and not have to try and run step for step with a wide receiver in main coverage. So a lot of that is what Bowen tries to do. So that's good. Giants quarterback room added Paulson Adebo in free agency, but they are expected to have multiple brutal training camp battles to make the roster at the position. Now Fortune joins the mix, and his stellar ball skills make him an intriguing option to earn a spot on the Giants' 53-man roster. So keep an eye out for him. And his ability to make plays on the ball translates to the NFL level. He will make the rest of the league look foolish for passing on him. So once again, if you can grab a diamond in the rough, would be fantastic for these undrafted free agents. So now we got Giants undrafted free agents with the best chances to make an impact. All right. So the first one I said was the cornerback, O'Donnell Fortune, Carolina. The next one is Collins, wide receiver. Collins from Notre Dame, my school. After spending the first few years at Clemson, Collins transferred to Notre Dame for his final year of college ball. Production fell off for Collins. Is one of the country's least impressive passing offenses. Yeah, partially due to the scheme, but also brought Riley Leonard's inconsistent play. Yeah, I don't even know how I love me some Notre Dame. That's my team, but I have no idea how they made the championship game. Their offense was just not very super spectacular last season. I don't even know how they only lost by 11 points. They were within 8 points with like a minute to go. Their offense was just not super spectacular. Had they had the players that Ohio State did, it would have been a little bit different story. But at 6'3", 201 pounds, Collins has the size to line up on the outside at the next level and latch on as a bottom of the roster receiver or practice squad candidate. His game is apparent weaknesses, such as his inability to create separation consistently and his struggle with drop issues, but the drops are a correctable issue. Yes, they are. I like the way Collins runs routes with varied tempo. If the drop issues get cleared up, he's worth at least a practice squad opportunity. Then they got, interesting here, Montreal edge Jeremiah, I guess it's Ojo. Many Giant followers, including me, have never heard of Jeremiah Ojo. That's me too. Before his signing with the team as an undrafted free agent. Still, he's a guy that we might want to familiarize ourselves with. So he's an edge rusher. Coming from Canada, I guess maybe the Montreal Alouettes, maybe? There's a noticeable difference to the level of talent he faced throughout his career. But one thing that translates globally is athleticism. You got that right. Ojo dominated in the CFL combine and put up testing numbers that would have had him in the top 10 for almost every athletic test. However, he's not just a combine warrior. When you turn on his film, you see that Ojo plays like a true athlete. Ojo will need a lot of development, and he's short for an NFL edge rusher, but his athletic traits are intriguing enough to give him a shot there and maybe even a look as an off-ball linebacker. Cool. All right, so then we got, these are the Giants' 13 undrafted free agents. Who has the best shot to make the team? All right, so now you got Daquan Felton, wide receiver from Virginia Tech. I mean, you know, as I said, the Giants brought in a lot of wide receivers. Then we got Collins, wide receiver from Notre Dame. Now, Felton is 6'4", 214 pounds, so he's got some nice size to him. Felton has an upside as a third-level threat. Brugler said, but he needs to refine his route running and finishing skills to capitalize on his physical advantages. Now we got, of course, I said, the Collins, 6'3", 201 pounds. But once again, one thing that the Giants do quite a bit, the RAS scores are like off the charts. Collins' RAS score is a 9.09, which is off the charts. Fantastic. Antoine, I guess it is, another wide receiver, Wells Jr. from Ole Miss. He's 6 foot tall. If you're the Giants and you just drafted Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart, why not also pick up one of Dart's favorite targets? 6 foot tall, 201-pound Wells struggled to maintain a high level of play in his lone year at Ole Miss, but he still finished with 28 receptions, 553 yards, which is almost 20 yards of reception. It's like 19 yards of reception, and 6 touchdowns he's had. Then, of course, we got cornerback O'Donnell Fortune from South Carolina. Then we got safety Makari Page from Michigan. I wonder if they called up Wink. Hey, Wink, how's Page doing? How's your? Hey, Wink. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Good talking to you. And he took the offensive lineman Jason Williams from Youngstown State. Giants didn't spend a lot on their offensive line this season, but they did add a lot of depth pieces behind the returning starting five, so it'll be a tough road for the 6'3", 298-pound Williams to make the team. It's also worth noting that the Giants drafted Purdue's Marcus and Bo in the 5th round, right? But Jordan Bly, another wide receiver from Gardner-Webb. He's 5'10", 175 pounds. Another cornerback, Delancey, R.J. Delancey from Wisconsin. Tight end Jermaine Terry II from Oregon State. Another safety, Tommy McCormick from Idaho. So, there's Belton, right? You got Newman, right? You got Holland. But I mean, we certainly could use some good depth behind those guys. So. And you're not even sure Belton's going to be around much longer anyway. So we'll have to wait and see. But the Giants certainly could use some depth at safety. That is for sure. So we got Tommy McCormick from Idaho. McCormick finished his collegiate career with 273 tackles, including 9 tackles for loss, 7 interceptions, 24 passes defense. 6 foot tall, 211 pounds. Another wide receiver, Dalen Cambry from Louisiana, 5'11", 189. Let's see, Cambry, once again, athletic freak. 9.18 on his RAS score, which is, once again, off the charts. Anything over a 9 is fantastic. He scored a 9.18 RAS out of a possible 10. This ranked 313th out of 3,815 wide receivers from 1987 to 2025. So nothing else. The Giants wind up taking these guys are athletes. We took Baker, a running back from Elon. Cool. Let's see. 5'10", 218 pounds. So not super tall, but almost 220 pounds. He's about the same size and all makeup as Cam Scatterboo. Right? Cam's a little bit shorter, but they both weigh about the same. And then we finally got a linebacker, Trace Ford from Oklahoma. Similar to the running back room, there's not a ton of need for depth at the outside linebacker. Giants group is officially stacked. They were already highly invested in the position, right? Now there's a talented trio to rotate along with quality veteran depth that makes 6'2", 249-pound Ford's path to a roster spot almost the most difficult of the Giants' undrafted free agents. So, but hey, you never know. Absolutely. Once again, one of those things you never know. I mean, but you always bring these guys in, and especially if you can find find like a diamond in the rough. Boy, I'll tell you what. You find some place for the guy. Now, finally, we got some good news here, right? Evan Neal is moving from right tackle to right guard. Yay! All right. This is his final chance to, whatever you want to call it, resurrect it. I can't say resurrect his career, with the Giants, shall we say. Because like what the Eagles did with Mekhi Becton, right? If the Giants were to let him go, some team out there is going to scoop him up. Guaranteed, going to scoop him up. Put him in a guard. He's going to, this guy's Evan Neal's all of a sudden an all-pro with another team. Why wasn't that way with the Giants? Why is he an all-pro with the Cardinals? He's not an all-pro with the guaranteed another team's going to scoop him up, and he's going to play pretty well. So he's got one more year. He did very well run blocking for the Giants last season. Let's see what he can do. Move him inside to guard. See how he's pass blocking, right? Hey, if it works out, cool. We got ourselves our right guard for, we'll sign him hopefully to a nice little contract extension, right? Maybe 3-year deal after this, right? So hopefully we'll have our right guard for, right? So, and then if Bo winds up being our tackle of the future, fantastic, right? All right, but Giants Evan Neal reportedly will move from right tackle to right guard after declined contract option. Giants declined Evan Neal's 5th-year option, which would have cost them like over $16.5. I think it was $16.5 million. It was. It really would have been pretty crazy to pick it up because it's all guaranteed. He doesn't have to be on your roster. You could cut him, but you still have to own the money. Why do you want to pay somebody $16.5 million if you don't even know he can play on your team anyways? I said, guaranteed. Giants let him go. He goes to another team, like what Mekhi Becton did with the Eagles, and they turn him into a phenomenal guard. I guarantee that's going to happen with him. But per Paul Schwartz of the New York Post, Neal will compete with Greg Van Roten and Aaron Stinney for the new starting right guard job after spending most of his career at right tackle. The signings of free agent offensive lineman James Hudson III, Stone Forsythe, gave New York's enough flexibility to let Neal try to earn a spot at right guard while Jermaine Illuminor holds down the starting right tackle position. And don't forget about Mbo, right? Williams noted that Neal has not played guard since his freshman season at Alabama in 2019. He was the Crimson Tide's right tackle as a sophomore and moved to left tackle in 2021. The move comes as Neal looks to put together a strong year in hopes of getting a new contract from either the Giants or another team. Well, I mean, somebody will sign him. That's, if the Giants don't, the thing is, how much money will he get? Neal missed out on $16.7 million since New York declined his contract option, and he'll now play the 2025 season on the final year of his rookie deal. Neal, who missed last year's training camp while recovering from an off-season ankle surgery, lost a starting job at right tackle to Illuminor in 2024. He still ended up starting a handful of games due to injuries and recorded a 61.2 PFF grade. But that's a little misleading, you want him at a 61, okay? But his run blocking was up here. His pass blocking was still down here, and you meet in the middle and you come up with a 61. Run blocking an 80, pass blocking a 40, you meet in the middle, you get a 60. There you go. So, as I said, his run blocking was very, very good. His zone run blocking last season, he graded out like a 90. Very impressive. So, yeah. So once again, the thing is, can he switch in the guard and being more in a phone booth, right? Go up against, he weighs as much as a lot of those defensive tackles. He's taller than a lot of those defensive tackles. The thing is, they have to do. I'm sure they're going to be doing stunts and twists and stuff like that, and they'll have to try to pick that up. So, can he do something like that, right? But the big thing is if Neal is here and there's somebody right in front of him who's just going to try to like overpower him or whatever, and not none of this dodge, turning the edge and none of that. If it's man on man, can Neal do the job? Right? I'll have to wait and see. Neal, let's see here. While Neal's career hasn't gone the way he would have hoped, the change of position could work out for him as it has for others, as I was talking about. Mekhi Becton, now with the Los Angeles Chargers, shifted from tackle to guard last season with the Eagles, and it revived his career and helped him earn a $20 million contract with the Chargers this offseason. Perhaps Neal's career will follow as a similar trajectory. So, now I'm not sure if that's I don't know. It's $20 million. I don't know. Is it 2 years, $20 million? Was it 3 years, 20 million? I don't know. He's not making $20 million a year. But he got drafted by the Jets really early, right? And all he kept doing, he had a hard time there, and he kept getting injured, right? Now he's 1 year with the Eagles. For some reason, when you go to Philadelphia, nobody gets injured with Philadelphia. Right? Nobody gets injured there, which one of the reasons why it helps them make the Super Bowl, right? They were very, very healthy. But, I said, but they have a very good offensive line coach. And, their offensive, it's one of the reasons why, Saquon did what he did. He wasn't going to do what with the Giants. Rushing yards, absolutely not. He went to the perfect place. Great offensive line. Nobody gets injured, right? Even Saquon. Saquon had, 37,000 carries last year? Didn't even get jock itch. Nothing. With the Giants give him a couple handoffs here and there, and he's out for the season. So, right. Anyway, I can't stand talking about the Eagles, but so let me show you. I'm gonna pop this up here, and here's somewhere. Is this it? Okay, cool. All right, let me see if I can pop this up here. I'll show you what, he didn't do too bad. It was his first season at Alabama. There we go. All right. At guard. So he was at guard. So let me go here. Go back here at all. Okay. Wait. I'll go NFL. Give me a second here. Player grades is going to work out. NFL. Giants. Nope. Player grades. Not going to pop them up or. Let's see. Can I get them? Right. Wait. No. Premium stats. Let me go to premium stats here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. NCAA, right? 2021. Try that. I can try that there. It's going to take I think it's going to take a second here to. Yeah, I apologize for this here. Evan Neal. PFF Power Ranking Player Grades. Yep. Let me see. I'm going to get tackles. Run blocking. And Evan Neal. Right, yep. I do apologize. NFL. Tools. NFL fantasy rating. NFL draft, college. All tools. Anything? Well. Let me shop. Okay, stop sharing. Okay, good. All right, let me real fast here. So I definitely want to show you what his he did pretty well. And it was his rookie season too. Or his first season in Alabama. It was very, very impressive. All right, got that. And bring it over here. Pop this up here. Okay, let me try. Okay, here we go. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is all right. So let me try to once again share my screen. Oh, there we go. Okay, Evan Neal. All right, here we go. Apologize for taking 3.5 years for me to get that, but now if you look here, okay, right, that's first year at Alabama. Okay, this is first year. 71.2. Then you notice he got better, but this is also when he went up to to tackle. But he had 723 snaps. His first season, Alabama, right? 71.2. Right, so let's see, we go here. Now the one thing is, with Alabama, did they play anybody good? You don't have to worry about that. Talking Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, whatever, they went up against good competition, right? So let's see, his rookie season, right? I keep saying rookie season, his first season with Alabama, right? He was a left guard, okay, starter, first year at Alabama, right? As a player, right? Starter, left guard. Started off a little rough, right? I mean, New Mexico State, he graded out of 58. Duke, right? 53. But then, he started getting better. He had some good games. 66, 69, 68, 73, right? And 85. So, right, so he did pretty well. He did pretty well. Once again, that was his first year. So he went from a left guard in 2020. He went to right tackle. And of course, he went from a 70 up to an 83. So you're looking, it's like, oh my God, this guy's a better tackle than he is a guard. Wow, right? So he went from guard to a tackle, left guard to right tackle. And then in 2021, his last season, went to left tackle. Right? Left guard, right tackle, left tackle. So every year, and you'll notice, there was no left tackle, right tackle, center, punter, kicker, nothing. It was all left tackle. The year before that, it was all right tackle. The year before that, it was all left guard. Every game was the same position, right? But you notice here, left tackle, right? He graded out 85.8. I mean, you see these grades. You're coming out of Alabama. You're a left tackle. Okay, for the most part, you're protecting, for the most part, your quarterback's blind side. The left tackle for Alabama going up against the U, right? Florida, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Tennessee, LSU, Arkansas, Auburn, Georgia, a couple bowl games. Georgia again. He played Georgia like 9 times that year, you know. And dude's grading out at 85.8. I mean, come on, man. He's got to be a fantastic pick, right? Well, if the Eagles picked him, he'd be a Hall of Famer. But the Giants, with their offensive line problems and his injuries and all of that, creating problems. But let me stop sharing my screen here. But as I said, you can see, right? I mean, he did very well at tackle at Alabama. Very, very well. So, but you can also see that he had, didn't do too bad at Alabama at guard. So, but he played guard, and then he played tackle, then he played the other tackle. Every year he played a different position, and he did pretty well. So, hopefully for the Giants, he can. It would be fantastic, really, really fantastic. The problem is that if he makes it, and he's not on his rookie deal anymore after this season, so the Giants would have to wind up signing him to some type of a contract. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Now, of course, right? Since you brought in, all these undrafted free agents we're bringing in, right? Where all the nice little draft class we got brought in, right? And all that, of course. And he also wants to put some guys on the bubble, especially this guy right here, right? So we're going to go over some guys who are on the bubble here, right? Well, one of them, right? So, one of them also you're talking about, right, is that you got Giants are facing several offensive line free agent decisions after 2025. Right? I mean, it's headlined by right tackle Jermaine Illuminor, who bounced around the offensive line but was the best healthy lineman for the Giants in 2024. Well, GVR, too. His versatility, Illuminor's, was key, and he projects to be an above-average starter at right tackle for Russell Wilson, with left tackle Andrew Thomas making a healthy return. If the Giants are set to have one of the league's better tackle duos, but how long will it last? Illuminor's contract expires after the upcoming season, prompting New York with a decision to extend Illuminor into his mid-30s. Is that something they're going to do? There's a reason to believe he's among the safer long-term bets to extend past 2025, too. He can play either tackle spot, has experience at guard, and has a history with offensive line Carmen Brasilio. And, of course, you got right guard Greg Van Roten, also has a history with Brasilio. It's no surprise Van Roten has had his best season, right, under Brasilio's tutelage, nor that the unit looked its best when Thomas was healthy and the two former Los Angeles Raiders were together on the right side of the line. You got GVR and Illuminor on the right side of the line. That was early on that the first 5 so games, the Giants' offensive line didn't look too bad. It was respectable. You could win games with it. Van Roten played every single offensive snap for the Giants last season, filling in at center when necessary. He was a late camp addition in 2024, re-signed early in free agency, and will be a free agent again after 2025. He's a low upside starter, but his competency and versatility may keep him around if New York wants to remain inexpensive on the interior. First-round tackle Evan Neal will be a free agent too, although that's a decision the Giants have already made. It's declining his 5th-year option. New York made the upcoming season a contract year for Neal. With a presumed move to guard, Neal's liabilities may be mitigated away from high-profile edge rushers. Among internal options, Neal could feasibly push for Van Roten's roster spot in a year's time, although the latter will have priority in 2025. But right, you got guys, right? Of course, you got Evan Neal, right? So you got guys, make it or break it mode for these 4 guys, right? There are a few Giants incumbent players who could be teetering close to the edge of their tenures as new talent arrives in East Rutherford. It's a special time of the year for some and a fearful time for others, but the real competition begins this summer, when a slew of roles will be on the line after a Giants class that has guys who can come in and steal some starting reps early. That said, these are some current Giant players who should feel their seats getting a little warmer now that the roster building season is over. Oh, yeah. One of the older Giant players who will be followed closely throughout the remainder of the offseason and regular season is former first-round pick Evan Neal, who is at a crossroads in his 4th year with the franchise. This past season, Neal began his slide down the depth chart with the arrival of Jermaine Illuminor in free agency, along with offensive line coach Carmer Basilio, who was hired from the Raiders. The familiar Illuminor was thrust into the starting right tackle spot to perform much more admirably and leave Neal to figure out his game behind. Even when Neal had to re-enter the equation late in the year as injuries piled up, very little signs of growth happened. In his 456 snaps at right tackle, the 24-year-old did pretty well in run blocking, 80.6 overall in run blocking, which was the best run blocking grade on the Giants team. But he finished under 50 as a pass blocker for the 3rd straight season. Next guy up, Jalen Hyatt. And the thing with that is, with these guys here, with Neal, pick number 7. Wow. And we don't even know if he's going to make the team after this season. But then Jalen Hyatt, you traded up to get the guy. The Giants wide receiver Jalen Hyatt, it's hard to say that many members of the organization have a questionable role as he does. In fact, Hyatt, who is once the leading pass catcher in the entire SBC, his final year at Tennessee, has progressively lost any impact on the Giants' offense. After he posted nearly 1,300 receiving yards in 2022, the 23-year-old hasn't amassed more than 400 yards and a single touchdown in 2 seasons with New York. Whew. Running back, Cam, when they drafted Cam, Mr. Eric Gray, seat is getting very, very hot. Compared to the last player, the Giants have tried to get running back Eric Gray more involved in the team's Sunday contest. The effort just hasn't panned out, and now Cam is joining the room and getting fans excited. A 5th-round prospect from the 2023 class, Gray has also slowly seen himself drop off from the Giants' rotation. He was never really poised to be the number 1 option, with guys like Saquon and Tyrone Tracy Jr. in the mix. But his rare opportunities have not turned into much for the young ball carrier. In 30 games played, Gray has not churned more than 100 yards in the ground and is still waiting to make his first curtain call in the end zone. While he had a chance to climb the ranks in camp, he remained a third-string back, while Tracy and veteran Devin Singletary handled the rushing workload. Now I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he might have been the one that fumbled the ball against the against Seattle. Was he the one that fumbled the ball against the Seahawks and they ran it back all the way for a touchdown? So I mean, it's just a fumble, trying to return kicks. He fumbles the ball. It's like, so I mean, we got Motor Singletary, we got Turbo Miller, right? We got Cam, and we got Tyrone Tracy Jr. I mean, it's like, I can't see Gray making the team. I mean, I don't know. We're only bringing 3 guys on the 53. I would imagine. I can't see it was 4 running backs. We got 3 running backs, right? So he's either not going to make the team or he's going to be on the practice squad. Then the final one, which we possibly could cut and save a little bit of money, right, would be Nacho. Raheem Nunez Roches. Perhaps his continued presence on the team signals a different case, but it's not certain the Giants are sold on Raheem Nunez Roches as their number 2 interior defensive lineman. Well, not after we drafted Alexander. And we brought in a bunch of guys, free agents and everything. So, be interesting to see. The Giants had a significant need for an interior defensive lineman prior to the draft, and they pursued it right after their 2 main roster needs were fulfilled: the best player available, and then their future quarterback, right, the Jackson Dart. With their 3rd round selection, which remained from the Dart trade, the Giants chose, obviously, Darius Alexander. The pick was regarded by many as one of the best value selections by New York, as Alexander was ranked as the 30th best prospect in the 2025 class and one of the highest in the position group. And we got him at number 65. Alexander figures to challenge Nunez Roches in training camp for the right to fill the gaps alongside Dexter Lawrence. He has some upside in the pass rushing realm, but he stood out with his physicality and strength against the opposing rushing game in college. So, I mean, Alexander is, should be very interesting. Very, very interesting. For Nacho, that could mean he gets pushed out of the picture after he didn't post the most impressive year for a grizzled veteran. He finished 4th in the position group with a 50.2 run defensive grade. And that's what we brought him in here for, too. It wasn't like you're bringing Nacho in here. It's like, well, we're going to get 7 or 8 sacks from him. He's got a good pass rush. He's going to get us some sacks. Got a lot of pressures, hits, and all that stuff. And if he can stop the run, okay, that's a side. No, it was the exact opposite. With him, you're not going to get much of anything out of the pass, right? Pass pressure or anything like that. But he's supposed to be good against the run, and that just really wasn't the case. So if we could let him go and save a couple $1 million, that I do know. Let's see, he finished 4th in the position with 50.2 run defense grade and only made the 5th highest stop rate at a 5.8% in 302 snaps. His one positive is his availability, 15-plus games in the last 6 seasons. So that is good. And that's important for a position prone to dealing with injuries. So maybe he slips down a notch on the depth chart and lets a rookie take the stage to leave his mark. What's certain is that Nacho didn't make enough of an impact when it mattered for the Giants. The team has had some developmental players they're going to watch this summer to see if they grow into their intangibles. They will go there if it means better production when Lawrence isn't on the field. So, I mean, especially that's another thing too, without question. When Sexton goes off the field, you got to have a couple guys in there that could just, Sexy off the field, and maybe Nacho's one of you 2 guys on there. He's just not doing a good job. Just not doing a good job. I mean, he's a nice guy, great in the locker room, great attitude, all of that stuff. He's just not panning out. shame. It really is a shame. And what we brought him in here for, he's just not working, you know. So that's going to be a very, very good, very, very good, you know, nice player. Yeah, very, very good to check out. Yeah, this offseason, because we brought in a bunch of free agents on the defensive line, so it's going to be interesting to see. As I said, if we let Nacho go, we'll save ourselves some money. So then there was this. I mean, I said a bunch of stuff out there, a bunch of stuff that really praising the Giants for their draft class. A lot of, I mean, everything I'm saying is like the Giants, either in the NFC or the whole NFL, whatever like that, did a very, very good job. I've seen a lot of stuff like in the NFL, Giants in the top 5 draft classes, or just in the NFC, they're in the top 4 to draft. So a lot of good stuff. But there was a survey that was taken, right? And it showed not only so much that the Giants had the best draft class, but quite possibly the best draft player as well, too. So, all right, let me get that in there. All right, there we go. All right. New York Giants had the best 2025 NFL draft per survey. Voters impressed by what the Giants accomplished. New York Giants had by far the best 2025 NFL draft class, according to the voters in this week's SB Nation's NFL Reacts national survey. Not one like in just they not one from New York, not one in North Jersey or Long Island or like a national survey. Okay. 31% of the voters in our poll said the Giants, with a class that included Abdul Carter, Jackson Dart, Darius Alexander, and Cam Scatterbo, ranked the Giants number 1. And they said here, the SB Nation, reacts. Which team put together the best draft class? Well, the Giants got 31% of the votes. The Patriots got 17% of the votes. The Seahawks, 15%. The Raiders, 14%. The Chiefs, 14%. And the Panthers had 9%. So the Giants almost twice as much as their next, as the Patriots at 17. So the Giants almost twice as much. Once again, per survey, right? That's all. General Manager Joe Schoen was under pressure to improve the talent on a team that went 3-14 and to find a potential quarterback of the future. He accomplished both. SB Nation voters also believe that Schoen brought the best player in the draft to New York. Carter, with a 40% of the vote, edged Travis Hunter, who had 38%. Were asked which of the top 5 players selected would be the biggest star. So once again, SB Nation reacts. Which player picked in the top 5 will become the biggest star in the NFL? It's in the top 5. Right. Abdul Carter got 40% of the votes. Travis Hunter got 38%. So it was almost tied. Right. Cam Ward got 12%. Mason Graham got 5%, and Will Campbell got 5%. Yeah, but according to the survey, right? Of the next 5 quarterbacks selected after Cam Ward, number 1 overall, SB Nation voters also expect Dart to have the best rookie season. Right? Which of these quarterbacks will have the best rookie season? Now, I don't, they got Dart here to have a good rookie season. The thing is I'm not sure how much he's going to get on the field. But according to SB Nation, once again, per survey, right, they got Dart, 46% will have the best rookie season. Shador Sanders got 18%. Tyler Shuck, 18%. Jalen Milroe, 13%. And Dylan Gabriel got 5%. So, there we go. That's out there. So, I mean, I have seen this. Obviously, I've seen a lot of, everybody has people. I can't stand the Eagles, so I always look to see how the Eagles, One of them, I seen one had the Eagles at like number 16. I saw another one with the Eagles at like number 11. So it's all, you go one publication, they got this, they got one, I got that. So it's all up and down. But for the most part, what I've seen with the Giants is that they've had nothing but compliments. And this was actually just wound up being absolutely huge. For the for the Giants, they needed to get a good draft class. Needed to get a good draft class. They got themselves a very good draft class. The first 5 picks, look like they might be really, really good, and quite possibly we might have found our quarterback of the future now. So this class was a home run. I think it was a home run. If like in Bo turns out to be all of that in a bag of Doritos, or especially if Dart wants to be in our quarterback of the future, this draft class wound up being a grand slam. And I said the draft class from last season, especially like the first 5 picks, and this draft class here so far, what it just seems like anyway. Shane did a very, very good job. So I mean, if Shane winds up sticking around, if right, look, keep your chin up. The Giants should be always in the top, whatever, 10 or so, whatever the draft class is, and that's one thing, that's going to really help lead the Giants going forward is good drafting. It's in the past couple classes, Shane has really, really knocked that out of the park. All right, guys, been 1 hour and 42 minutes. Anybody listening to me live? Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo! Oh, yeah.